Welcome back, everyone. This is part 3 of the King's Castle. King James along with Blair Chopin.
Hey, fam.
And now it's time to switch gears and talk about the blue brand side of WrestleMania. And we've got to start right at the top of the list. The ongoing storyline between SmackDown Commissioner Shane McMahon and AJ Styles. Now, what makes this interesting to me is we saw last week, following a horrific attack, Shane McMahon got his head thrown through the side of a car window by AJ Styles and basically booked himself in a match against Styles come WrestleMania. So then, effectively, AJ was rehired to SmackDown, and he planned on doing the same thing again. But Shane McMahon had a different plan. He met him in the ring and basically beat the snot out of him for a good 3 minutes before finally delivering an exclamation point in the way of the top rope elbow through the announce table.
Which I actually saw.
So, my question to you, Blair, is this. I mean, we've seen how much of a daredevil Shane McMahon is, and if last year's WrestleMania proved anything, we know that he can still hang with the big guys in big-time matches.
Right.
So my question is this. Can he hang with AJ Styles, and do you think the storyline's going well?
I think the storyline is always interesting with Shane because, as we saw last year, you never know what he's going to do. He's fearless, and I give him a lot of credit for that. But also, I think it's a weird storyline because I don't know what position they're trying to put AJ Styles in. Because you look at it, and what is beating Shane McMahon do?
Well, look at this. Look at it this way. Shane McMahon, as you know, on screen, is the commissioner of SmackDown.
Right.
So that means he's the boss. It's like when a disgruntled employee wants to tell their boss to take his job and shove it, but they don't want to...
I understand that. But like from a long-term perspective, so this is the position he's in. AJ Styles beats Shane McMahon. Whoop-de-frickin-do. You beat Shane McMahon. He's an old man. He's smaller.
But it may lead to a series of events where Shane is eventually forced to give up control of SmackDown after losing another match.
Yeah.
Could be.
It just doesn't do it for me. Because it's a terrible position for AJ Styles. He loses to a frickin' trust fund idiot. He wins, he beats Shane McMahon. That's nothing that does nothing for him. So my thing is, as far as booking goes, Shane McMahon and The Undertaker was perfect.
Yeah.
It was a nostalgia act against...
And it was for controlled Monday Night Raw, if you remember.
Right. But like it wasn't getting like a current superstar who they're trying to push forward in a bad position. Like I think this might be doing to Styles.
Right.
So I think like if you have your nostalgia acts, put them against nostalgia acts, have superstars battle superstars. Like, I'm totally fine if at WrestleMania they had Triple H versus The Undertaker.
Right.
That would be exciting. But what good does Triple H Seth Rollins do anybody? That doesn't move you forward.
It's kind of a... Here's the way I look at it. Over the past few years, the reason I've enjoyed wrestling so much over the past 18 years, it's kind of like a hero versus villain sort of thing.
Right.
In this case, Rollins is the penultimate hero, while Triple H, being the boss of bosses,
right.
is the villain.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like, how many times can we do? Do you think we're like they rely a little too heavy on the boss against employee storyline? Like, I mean, I know it works. But like I think they found success obviously with it starting with Austin and McMahon.
Yeah, because that's really what gave WWE the edge in the Monday Night War.
But I have a question. Yeah, I mean that's definitely true. But don't you think it's a little bit that no one can play a better boss than Vince McMahon, and no one can play a better disgruntled employee than Stone Cold Steve Austin?
True.
So you're just like when you compare it to that and you try to bring that nostalgia back, I just think like you're inevitably going to kind of fail. And instead, why not push like your younger guys against younger guys and have them build storylines that way? Exactly.
And that kind of brings me to another question, kind of unrelated here. But you you said you weren't too happy about these younger guys getting put into the ring. The nostalgia guys versus nostalgia guys. But get this, I've heard speculation that as far as the booking for WrestleMania is concerned, they want to make the Roman Reigns match with The Undertaker the main event.
Yeah, I could see that.
Why?
Because if they're in a spot where they don't think Goldberg can go that long with Brock Lesnar, then they probably don't want to go out with that as a main event and have fans upset. So why not put Reigns? Undertaker can still bring it. Reigns, right. We know Reigns is talented. Why not have those guys battle? And I think Undertaker could still put on a really good match and have the fans go out with that taste in their mouth.
Do you see that being kind of a proverbial passing of the torch moment, if you will?
I think that's difficult to say because, I think they want it to be, and I think Reigns will probably win because of that. But the key is the fans want it to be? Do they want Reigns to get the torch?
Yeah,
because there's no point in passing the torch if everyone wants the person with the torch to light themselves on fire.
Because I think I think it goes without saying, and you and I both talked about this many, many times on and off camera. The WWE's tried to get Roman Reigns over for years,
right?
And it hasn't worked. So,
do you think then this is last ditch? Because if you can't get over when you beat The Undertaker, there's no one else who's going to get you over, right?
Exactly. I mean, I hate to say this being a dedicated fan, but as far as I'm concerned, from the fans' perspective and from the booking perspective, this is kind of a lose-lose situation. And I'll tell you why. Because whatever happens here, somebody's going to be upset. Either the fans are going to be upset because they know it's The Undertaker's last match, and they probably want to give it to Reigns in an attempt to get him over, and it won't work. Or the booking's going to be upset because the match doesn't work to get Reigns over, and they won't have any other alternative. So,
okay, two questions here. Well, 1 point and one question. I think for Reigns to get over, this has to be one of those classic matches. It essentially has to be an all-timer where he comes from behind with some crazy circumstances happening. And it has to be kind of like a heroic victory, right?
Yeah.
Because him just winning, I don't know if that's enough. That's how far behind he is with the fans.
Right.
Second point is, at what point is this just creative and Vince being stubborn? At what point do you just give up on trying to get him over?
Right.
Because this is year 3 of it.
Mm-hmm.
Year 3 of trying to get him over.
Exactly.
And I think the results, to be kind, have been mixed.
I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly because I think you and I have both seen the last 2 WrestleManias together.
Right.
And I think we can both agree that the best chance the WWE has had at this point to get Reigns over was when he was screwed out of the title during the match at WrestleMania 31 against Brock Lesnar. Because then that became a triple threat, so it became Rollins being the villain, stealing the title, and it was called the Heist of the Century. If that didn't work, I don't know what will.
Yeah, I think their appeal for trying to get Reigns over, because we know who the fans of Reigns are, and you know who the haters are.
Right.
The haters are adults. The people who love him are kids. And you know who wants to buy the merch is children.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of money in Roman Reigns being the biggest name in the WWE.
Right.
But I just don't know when he's gonna win over that portion of the audience if it ever happens. And to be honest with you, if they're selling so much merchandise and everything, does it really matter?
Well, it may not matter to Vince, but it matters to us.
Yeah, it matters to us. But if kids don't go alone to events because they're kids, they're 5 years old, 8 years old, and they can't drive.
Right.
So they're still going to drag their parents out to the events.
Yeah.
So if there's still money there, do you just try to push it regardless?
That is very true. That is very true.
But at this point, I think not me necessarily, because I'm not too sensitive to it, but a lot of the longtime fans, I think this is testing their patience.
Exactly. And
because
I'll tell you something. I know a lot of people watch the product because they think it's cool. A lot of people watch the product for the entertainment value. We simply do it. I can only speak for myself here, but I do it for the love of the game. So either way,
it's good to be entertained. Yeah.
Either way, I'm going to continue to support the brand, but it's good to be entertained, and it's good to give the fans a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's always and I get what you're saying. It's always going to be entertaining.
If you do some, but I'm saying that if they do something that's too predictable come WrestleMania, then we got a problem.
Right. Yeah, it's always going to be entertaining. We're always going to pay attention to it because of it. Because it's great athletes doing spectacular things, right?
Right.
But I feel like every superstar that they've tried to push as much as Reigns had some sort of it factor that is just missing from Reigns. I think Vince sees Reigns and he sees the way he's built.
Right.
He sees his look and the possibilities of it, when really there's just a missing connection between him and the fans, right?
Absolutely.
Everyone, Vince wants him to be someone who's I think he envisions him as someone who could carry the brand for years to come.
Right.
But he just you couldn't see him doing what The Rock does. You couldn't see him doing what Stone Cold does. You couldn't see him
doing what John Cena does.
Exactly. Either. He's not that, and that's fine. He's still a great wrestler. He's a great in-ring performer, but it's just there's just a difference between being strictly an in-ring performer and having all that other stuff too that can carry a company.
Exactly, and the way to get over it is you have to appeal to the fans both in and out of the ring.
Right.
I know that because I've had the privilege and the honor of meeting plenty of these superstars up close, so I know how much it means to them to hear the fans say, "Oh my God, you blew my mind," or something.
Is that what you say? Is that what you say when you meet WWE superstars?
I'm talking.
You sound you get very excited.
I'm talking hypothetically.
I know.
That's not what I say.
I know. I'm kidding with you.
But
yeah, it's an interesting conversation of what to do with them, because I think Vince is obviously a genius, but even I think all people who are very successful have a certain stubbornness to them. And it's what makes them successful, and it's also what makes them make mistakes.
Now,
I don't know if
one last question.
I hope Vince is able to give this one up.
One last question, just for the heck of it. If, for some reason, this doesn't work, and Reigns does not go over with the fans, do you see him possibly trading brands and going to Impact?
And no.
No?
I mean, I think, it might be better to be a mid-card guy in the WWE because it gets so much more attention than being the main guy in Impact.
I think you're right. I'm just
I don't another thing is, we don't know if Impact has, WCW money.
Right.
Where they could just start getting superstars from the WWE. I doubt that because
I've heard
Turner.
I've heard that they kind of have some international deals going with Japan and AAA wrestling in Mexico.
Yeah.
So that's how they're getting.
Yeah, but that's a whole different thing from picking out the WWE's guys.
Yeah,
right?
That's the independent scene. So
yeah,
that's a whole different story. But anyway, when we come back, it'll be time for us to give you our picks for what's top of the week. So stay right there.